Man, this is really, I say it's probably about every piece that I do, but this is like one of my favorite just because of all the things behind it. It's
all day, every day, I'm slinging wax for the #1 car care company on the planet. And at night, it's all about building cool stuff. This is Ironwood Garage.
Welcome back to another episode of Ironwood Garage, where there's one rule: make cool stuff. We're off the Ford mower project for a minute, just because we have some other stuff. So the reason I started doing all this mainly was at my everyday, day in, day out, Jack's Wax, slinging wax. One of the things we do there is we have big car events called Street Madness events. They're huge. They become bigger and bigger and bigger. And we also have car shows. One of the things that was kind of a pet peeve of ours on car shows is these standard, we call them the $6 trophy, having a cool car show and just having these standard trophies. We always wanted to have a cooler type of trophy. So for a little while, we got with our friend down in Chillicothe, Bill Yeagley. I'll tag his Instagram, custom metal art. Freaking super good dude. Made some really custom metal art on CNC machine. And we always wanted to have like truly handmade, welded art type trophies. And I was like, man, I used to do some of that stuff back in school. I know enough about it. So I was like, we couldn't find nobody to do it, so I wanted to learn how to do it. So that's the main reason I started doing some of this stuff, is I wanted to make custom trophies for our car shows, which I've done now a couple times, and they turned out really cool. We love them. The people that come to the car shows, it's more of a staple piece that you can have in your home instead of just something that goes in the corner and collects dust. It's more of an art piece than just a trophy. So in this episode, that's what I'm doing. We have a car show September the 14th over at the church we attend, church I've been going to for a long time. Super good place. One of my favorite, it is my favorite place, church I've ever attended, and it's where we call home. So we've partnered with them to do a car show. It's called Fueled by Faith, September the 14th. And just going to be a cool thing. So I'm making trophies for that show, and all the proceeds for this show go to the Driven Foundation to support families in need here in Central Ohio. It's by a Buckeye here, Roy Hall Jr. He's also comes to 514 Church. Super good dude. If you ever followed him, man, he's got some very inspirational things and has some seminars and stuff too. But I wanted to, this episode, I've been making trophies and doing this stuff, never have filmed it. So I'm going to film the process of making these trophies. They're going to be super cool. They're going with the theme of Driven by Faith. I'm going to make them. I have this idea in my head of making crosses and filling them in with like car parts and tools. So I'm going to first have some metal frames that I'm going to cut, then weld them all together. Once I get the form of the cross, I will then let it cool off and start filling it in. So let's get to it. Okay, so here's what we got. I'm going to take this steel, this one I'm going to make my frame out of. I'm going to take, so I need 4 3-inch pieces to make the top and the sides, and then the other small cross parts, I've got some 6-inch pieces and then 2 12-inch pieces. So I'm just going to get these measured up so I can get them cut correctly. Show you the concept and how this is going to shape up. My plan anyway. I always have plans in my head, so that's a pretty wild place to be. So you never know how they end up going to turn out. Get my little squares lined up here because I'm going to need them. So basically, this makes the bottom of my frame. So we'll put a magnet down here. Actually, we'll do it like this. Magnet. Gotta make it square though. Then we're going to go magnet here as well on this corner. But the way we want to run them, we want to run them both the same. So we want to run them to the inside like that. So run these down on the outside. Just going to mock it up here so I can show you guys what we're working with. And what I will do is I get down through here, I'll start adding some little magnets to brace it so it doesn't fall over. I got more magnets over on my thing, over where my mower's going on. These are my 6-inch pieces. So actually it was, I needed 4 6ers, I believe, now that I look at this right. And 6. Yeah, I need 6 6-inchers. Four more. So I can already tell one thing we're going to have to do is scoot this as far down as we can, because we're going to be running out of room by the end. They'll get me a bigger welding table at some point. So this is the general idea here. And then we're going to come off this one. The best thing to do would probably be to, whew, my glasses fogging up, it's so damn hot in here. The best thing to probably do would be to go ahead and get this little end cap squared and welded so it stays in place. This would be the bottom piece of my cross. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my welder in and get this little piece squared and tacked up. That way it's at least locked in and I can work my way around as I go. So check it, we got it framed in. It is got to be cleaned up. It'll be straightened up a little bit too, because these still bend a little bit here and there. But once we get the structure inside, different car parts, different gears, sprockets, all kinds of different stuff, man, it's gonna be super, super cool, I think. It'll sit on a spindle of some sort or a spoke. Let me see, I actually have one here, I believe. Yeah, I think we're gonna sit it on, I think I'll sit it on like this. Probably weld it back here, down to that, once I get it all filled in. And it'll be a best of show trophy. It's huge, this thing's probably 3 foot tall. But I think this will be not just a cool trophy, but something cool to keep in your house. So, 2 things. It's hot, and it's late, and I gotta work. So, tonight, we will call it a wrap, and tomorrow we'll get back out here and get that trophy filled in with cool car parts, and it'll take shape. Check you on the flip side. It is time to get back in the garage and back on the trophy. A little late this evening, but I was, after I shut the camera off last night, I was going to turn it off. I was going to turn off all my stuff, and I was having time, I'm sure you see on camera, I was having time, man, to splatter. And I'm sure if anybody was watching that first part was like, man, it's, well, I didn't have the gas on, so it was just splattering everywhere. So I'm going to go back and hit these welds. They look horrible. So the gas wasn't on. So it was just doing, but all in all, it looks pretty good. I'm going to go hit these welds. I'm going to find the pieces that I want to put in here, and I'm going to start filling this in. So I'm going to look for some pieces, and we'll get started on this thing. Added, I've been added to almost all of my sculpted art is I've got these little spikes, and I always add 3 of them. This will be especially good for the cross. There's typically 3 of these hidden in most things, and it goes to resemble the 3 spikes that was used on the cross when they pinned Jesus up. I always put them somewhere. So these will go in there somewhere. And yeah, so I'll start just kind of throwing stuff in and getting it situated. And then I'm going to go around and hit these little welds again, and we'll start getting this thing together. Everything is set. Now this is a lot of welding here, but it's not too bad. I just gotta make sure I get every piece, that way when I pick it up, nothing falls out. So let's go ahead and get this thing welded up. This is the cool part. It's my favorite part, is once it's done, just picking it up and seeing the flat side. So I'm gonna get to welding. The moment of the truth. Can't really tell much about it back here because it looks just kind of janky and sloppy, and this is always the coolest part. So let's just hope it all turns around and doesn't fall out. Freaking super cool. Hot on my hand. But I mean, real hot on my hand there. Thing is cool. I'll get this on a stand. I'll probably fill in some of those little holes in the back area back there. Just to give it a little bit of depth with some wrenches back behind it or something. But man, I'm pumped how it turned out. Really hot, but you can see it. How cool. I'm going to make some of these too for home decor. Automotive. These are, I've always wanted to do one, and I was like, what a better time for a charity. It's going to go to, hopefully somebody brings some cool cars out. This will be the best to show. I'm going to also do some small ones that are smaller than this. But man, this is going to be super cool. Let me finish it up here now and add some little final details to it. So it's late, and we're going to be back out here same time tomorrow to get that finished up. I'm going to put it on the pedestal, and I have to get back on Ford mower. Check in the flip. Back on the trophy, and man, it dried up nice. And my 3 little stakes are all in the back, and they spin. So I'm going to try to knock the rest of this thing out except for the final touches. I got little plaques that my guy 615, I believe it's laser, I'll tag him here, laser engraving, Joe Bevins, he's hooking me up with some plaques that I can weld to the front that'll say best of show and things like that. But I was going back and forth for the base. This one here is pretty cool, but it doesn't really set it up like a trophy. So I think I'm going on this one. The only thing I want to do here is because it has this little thing on the top of it. I'm going to grind that down, grind off a nice little spot to weld there so I can get some good connection to weld this thing down, because it's only going to be held by the bottom and it's pretty heavy. So let's get to grinding. We're back out here finishing up the trophy build. Got it painted. Man, this is really, I say it's probably about every piece that I do, but this is like one of my favorite just because of all the things behind it. It's faith-based, all about glorifying God, and we're able to do this with our local church I've been attending for a long time, and just a great group of people over there. And so now we're doing a car show there, best of show trophy, and without further ado, I'm just gonna let you see the finished product. It's all painted up, and I'm still gonna put a clear coat over everything, but this is the final piece. Got Fueled by Faith. This is the best of show trophy. Super cool. Got it all painted up, matte black. Left these natural. This is the laser engraved plaque. We got the chain at the bottom, and you can see the thing's big. Turned out good. It's probably about, let's see, 12, 6, 3, 21. It's over 2 foot tall. Really heavy. Going to be super cool. When we set out to start doing these trophies and making something just better, I just had the envision of wanting to have something cool that somebody would truly want to display in their home. I've already been reached out to, because I've posted a few of these little clips on Instagram, by 2 or 3 people about just making one of these crosses just as a decoration piece for the house. So it's really cool to get to partner with people and organizations, this being something that I didn't even think I would be doing one like this. But as soon as we were able to lock in the show, I was like, oh, I got the best idea for the trophy. So I'm going to still make some smaller ones as I go. Smaller ones we got some more best ofs. This will be the best of show. Just wanted to highlight this one. Wanted to get that out there. So September the 14th, if you're anywhere near the Columbus area, come out to 514 Church. I will tag it, and I'll put up a flyer in this video. But come out, hang out with us, see the trophies, try to grab one. Everything goes to the Driven Foundation, which is an organization here that helps underprivileged families in Central Ohio. So enter your cars, 20 bucks. You can make donations. If you want to be a vendor, you can click the link and get signed up. Anybody that pre-registers for the show will get a free goodie bag. So pre-register. We really hope to see you at the show, and we'll check you on the flip side.